basically, we're celebrating today the Omowale Malcolm X, and we're celebrating the Frantz, Fanon, and Patrice Lumumba. So I'm gonna give you a short explanation or a short discussion about the life of Frantz Fanon, because Frantz Fanon was a revolutionary and he is worthy of having his story told. Now, obviously, the young man gave a very good explanation of Frantz Fanon's life, but I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail. So Frantz Fanon was born on the Caribbean island of Martinique, which at that time was colonized by France. And Frantz Fanon, basically from a young age, he got caught up in the struggle against Nazism. So he joined the Free French Army organized by Charles de Gaulle from the colonies. And what he learned from the struggle against Nazism was that it takes violence to overthrow an oppressor. And so he learned that the same way that the French were using violence to overthrow Nazism would be the same violence that he would need to inspire our people to use to overthrow colonialism. Now, Fanon, after the war, Fanon he regretted joining the army. He regretted joining the Free French Army because he experienced a lot of racism in the army. So he basically had to, distance himself from that. Also, Fanon, when he came back from the struggle against Nazism, he basically joined the University of Lyon, where he learned about psychology and psychiatry. So basically, he learned, psychoanalysis too. Yeah, he learned psychoanalysis and psychiatry. He became a psychiatrist in the Blida-Joinville Hospital, where he was the director and chief of staff of the hospital, and he would treat many individuals who were coming to him from the Algerian freedom struggle as well as from the colonial regime. Now, at first, he was on the low supportive of the Algerian freedom struggle, but then he fully joined and became a member of the FLN, which was the Algerian freedom fighters. Fanon, around about this time, he basically, around about this time, he learned about the Battle of Algiers, which was a struggle in Algeria, where they were blowing up buildings with hundreds of people, where the French were blowing up buildings with hundreds of people in them, killing numerous people, putting up checkpoints all over Algiers, particularly the Casbah, where that was the Algerian section of Algiers. He also learned about the women who were distributing guns and bombs to the Algerian freedom fighters. And he learned about the suiciding, which was what the French would do to various individuals, killing them and then claiming they were suicides. So it was a lesson that Frantz Fanon learned in Blida before he migrated out. Well, he was warned of a coming raid on the Blida-Joinville Hospital, where he was director and chief of staff, and he basically had to flee to France, and then from France he fled to Tunisia, where the external Algerian struggle was taking place. Now, Fanon let me tell you a brief story. I'm going to tell you a brief story about Fanon's connection to Patrice Lumumba in particular, because Frantz Fanon, when he was in Tunisia, he joined the provisional government of the Algerian Republic, and he was an ambassador for them to the African nations. In particular, he went to Ghana and to other African nations on behalf of the FLN, which was the Algerian freedom fighters. So he basically went to Accra at the All African People's Congress, which Kwame Nkrumah had organized for all the African leaders. 1958, right? 1958, he joined the All African People's Congress for the African leaders to strategize on how to spread the revolution abroad through all of Africa. Because not any, at that point, only Ghana was liberated from colonialism, so he wanted to spread the revolution. Now, around about this time, Fanon met with Patrice Lumumba, who he basically took an instant liking to. They made a fast friendship, and they developed a bond. Around about 1960, Fanon returned to, Fanon entered into the Congo as a representative, again, of the FLN, the Provisional Government of the Algerian Republic. And he had basically become he basically went there to discuss with Patrice Lumumba various ways that he could help the Algerian struggle. However, Patrice Lumumba by that time was hugely, the United States and the CIA had basically discredited Lumumba to a point where Fanon understood that he would have to step down. So he really tried to encourage Lumumba to step down and to organize the MNC, which was the national movement for the Congo. Around about that time, he finally realized that he couldn't save his friend, so he left the Congo, and he regretted that for the rest of his life, which was short-lived because he died not too long after Patrice Lumumba because of leukemia, died in the United States, which we know they definitely played a part in, allegedly. Alleged leukemia. Yes. So we honor these men who fought for us, and we honor these people who struggled for us on our behalf, and we remember their legacy, and we remember what they have done for us and on our behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Shahidi. Much appreciated. Very, very important, brothers and sisters, that we understand the life and legacy of Frantz Fanon. Very important that we read his works, Black Skin, White Marks, The Wretched of the Earth, Towards African Revolution.